I just picked this up at Best Buy. This is the new Beats Pill in the champagne gold color. Let's see here. Oh, okay, that just ripped off. Here it is. The new Beats Pill. Oh wow, this is heavier than I was expecting, but also smaller than I was expecting at the same time. This gold champagne color looks really nice. It's just like instructions on what these buttons do. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, you know. I don't think we need this. Now, this is my first ever Beats Pill product. I don't really know what to compare this to because this is my first ever Beats Pill. Like I've said, I don't have experience with the older ones, so I can't tell you if it's an improvement or not compared to the older models. And this is also my first ever Bluetooth speaker, so I don't even really have any kind of competition to compare this to. Now, when I was looking into picking up a speaker, I was looking at things from JBL, even like Sonos, I think the brand is called, like the Sonos Roam 2, the Sony Alt 1, a bunch of stuff. And the reason why I decided to pick this one up was because not only do I just like the design of this a lot more, but also the battery life is much longer than the competition. It seems like this has 24 hours of battery life at 50% volume, I think is what they said. And compared to a lot of the speakers from JBL and even the Sonos, it seems like a lot of them only have 12 hours of battery life. So this is a big improvement, and that was the main selling point for me anyway, to get the Beats Pill. Metal mesh grill, I think it's metal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is metal. The logo feels like plastic, but honestly, I'm not really sure. Over here, this is like a soft rubber kind of touch. Feels really nice. This is plenty of grip, so you won't be dropping this. And you have your USB-C charging in the back. Yeah, and that's about it. What else we have here? Your usual instruction booklets and warranty guide, I'm pretty sure. And a USB-C to USB-C cable. Yeah, very nice. Let's pair this to my phone. Whoa. There we go. So it has 60% battery in here already. And first thing I want to mention is when this thing turned on, you can hear like, when it was powering on, that sound it made with the rumble, it sounds really nice. I mean, it sounds like it would be packing a lot of bass on here. I'll test this out and then I'll get back to you on what this sounds like. All right, so I've been actually using this for a few days now, and I gotta say, so far, guys, I am really loving this speaker. Like I said in my unboxing and first impressions segment, this is heavier than I was expecting. Maybe that's because I'm just new to this whole Beats Pill thing or Bluetooth speakers in general, because this does feel pretty heavy to me, but at the same time on the Apple specs and their Beats by Dre website, it does say that this is lighter. But yeah, like I said, this thing is very compact. You can see this is like the size of my hand, a little longer, and my hands are pretty small. It also has physical buttons, which I really love. I was afraid that this was going to have touch controls, but nope, these are all physical buttons here, where you have to actually physically press them down and you hear a click. This thing is also just packed with a bunch of good features. For example, if you have two Beats Pill speakers, you can run them paired up and it will kind of run like a stereo mode kind of thing, which is really cool. But unfortunately, I'm broke, so this is the only one I got right now. Another feature that I really liked, and it is actually one of the main selling points for me when deciding to get this Bluetooth speaker over the other ones, is the 24 hours of battery life. Also, this thing has an IP67 rating, so it is water and dust resistant. So this thing can take a beating. And it really shows. If you guys have looked at some other videos on YouTube, specifically one from Hotshot Tech. He did a video where he was like beating the crap out of this thing, dunking it in water, and even physically kicking this speaker around onto the ground. This thing took a beating and it was still working fine. So these things are really, really durable. And just like the Beats Studio Pros, this thing has lossless audio if you use this connected via USB-C. Now what's weird is when I tried the lossless audio feature with my phone, it sounded fine. I didn't notice anything wrong with it. But when I tried connecting this through USB-C to my gaming desktop, it sounded really bad. Like there was no bass whatsoever. It was almost like only the tweeter was working and the woofer wasn't working. I don't know, it was just really odd. So when I was using it with my desktop, I just decided to use it with Bluetooth instead. But then again, when you do that, there is some latency when watching some videos. I don't know why it didn't sound normal when connected to my desktop, but that's fine. I wasn't going to use this with my desktop that often anyway. Another cool feature is that this thing works as a speakerphone, so if you are connected and playing music and someone calls you, for example, this thing will actually pick up your voice, so you can use this as an actual like phone microphone type of thing. But now, after all those features, I want to talk about the sound because, I am most focused on the sound quality. Now, the sound to me is really, really good for such a small, compact, portable speaker. And that's the main thing that's most impressive is sound for the size. Sound quality alone, like it's not the most impressive speaker I've ever heard, but for such a small package, I think that is the crazy thing about this speaker. Everyone who has heard me play the speaker has been really impressed with how it sounds. People have been complimenting its audio quality and specifically the bass reproduction because this thing really rumbles. And yeah, I have to agree with everyone. It is really, really nice. Now, it's not audiophile grade, but it still sounds good and fun for such a small speaker. Now, one thing to mention that I think is really important for people is that this thing gets super, super loud. When connected to my Z Fold 5, I'm only usually at about a quarter volume to at most half volume, and this thing easily fills up a small room or even a big open room like the kitchen or a living room. It's really, really impressive how loud this thing gets, and all the marketing about how loud this can get on their website and even their commercials, it's absolutely true. This thing is able to push out a crazy amount of volume. The bass on here is plenty and this thing rumbles. What's like another really cool thing about the speaker is that you can really feel the bass and the air moving around you. Like you feel this thing in your chest when it's playing. Even if you hold the speaker when the thing is playing, you just feel this thing shaking the whole time from the woofer vibrating inside. It's really, really cool. Now with that said, let's get into the nitty gritty because as someone who is more of an audio enthusiast, I'm mostly a headphone and IEM kind of person, so I am analyzing this a lot on the sound quality. And like I said before, the overall sound is really nice and thumpy. It is pretty well balanced overall, I would say, for a speaker, though it is definitely more on the fun side with emphasized bass. I think the main drawback is just that it's missing some details, and there's distortion at higher levels because it's trying to play all the details and frequencies from such a small tweeter and woofer that are thumping really hard, and this causes some distortion. Like I said before, you can really feel the bass in your chest, but this thing can sound ever so slightly distorted if you play at super, super loud volumes, which I never really go that loud normally, but I did do it just to test it. But even at low volumes, depending on the track, this speaker can sometimes have some kind of weird distortions with some of the hi-hats and the snares, and it doesn't sound that clean. Also, what I noticed is that minute details in a complex track can also be kind of hard to pick out. And also, this speaker is mono and not stereo. Like I said before, you need 2 Beats pills to have that stereo feature. Some details in the tracks just sound like they are missing, or they are very, very recessed. When listening to some tracks that I'm very familiar with, some of the songs sound simplified and not as detailed because the speaker is just unable to reproduce all of the parts of the song accurately while playing so loud and being a big booming speaker. So those are the main complaints I have about the sound quality. Now, do I think those complaints really matter for a small, compact Bluetooth speaker? Not really. At least not enough to make me not enjoy the sound. I didn't buy this to monitor tracks or listen to the music the same way I do with my IEMs, and I'm pretty sure nobody is buying this expecting audiophile grade speakers. This is more of a loud party speaker, something to fill up a room and be fun. And this definitely excels in that category. Yeah, like I said before, everybody who has heard this says they all really, really like the sound and think it sounds really impressive for such a small speaker. This thing is so loud and thumpy that when I'm playing this downstairs in the kitchen or my living room and I walk upstairs, I can still feel and hear the bass, and it almost sounds like there's a big stereo playing or there is a studio downstairs. But in reality, it's all coming from such a small speaker, and I think that's the really impressive part about this whole thing. Okay, here's just a little audio test. I have the Beats pill on the floor there, and I am currently in a pretty big room, so I'm just going to be playing some music on the speaker just so you can see how loud this thing can actually get. Now, I don't know how this will pick up on the microphone, but it is what it is. I'll try to capture it as best as I can. Okay guys, I'm playing a newly released video from HartnettMedia, a great cinematic car channel. And yeah, it has this beat playing, and let's just watch this video. Currently at about half volume. Now I'm going to try bumping this up to even louder. Alright, that was really, really loud. I don't know if you guys could hear that on the camera. Hopefully it picked it up well. This whole room just sounded like there was a huge subwoofer blasting, and it's all coming from that Beats pill. So it's very, very impressive for the size. The bottom line is, if you want a small Bluetooth speaker that can get super loud and easily fill up a room, this is an excellent choice. I think this is a great party speaker, and on top of all of that, it's pretty durable as well. So that's my review on the new Beats pill. I really, really like this thing, and I think it's another solid product from the modern Beats era that I can highly recommend. That's 2 for 2 so far. I really like the Studio Pros, and now this Beats pill. I think Apple and Beats is putting out some great products recently. Unlike some of their older products, which have been, fairly questionable, definitely not the best in the value side, I think these products nowadays are getting pretty good. So another recommendation from me, I really like the Beats pill. So thanks for watching this review, and I will see you guys in the next video.